look, I'm not saying Hitler was the greatest guy ever, but what I am saying is that there's clearly been an agenda to lie on him and push out a certain narrative that isn't necessarily
right. I hear you, but can't both be true? Thousands he had that were Jewish that were in the military, but he also was responsible for killing millions and millions of Jews. Sure. Another controversial topic, going back to Adolf Hitler. You had said Adolf Hitler is the most lied about man in human history.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about that, but I want to preface it by asking you, would you agree with me that Adolf Hitler was the mastermind behind millions and millions of Jews being massacred in the Holocaust?
Well, here's the thing. This is where I don't know how much time we have, because this is a very deep rabbit hole. But what I will say is this: they've lied about him on many different things. And the tweet I was referring to, I was referencing Daryl Cooper, famous historian. He actually went on the Tucker Carlson show because I was retweeting one of his comments when he was talking about all the Jews that served in Hitler's military.
I saw that.
And this is something I think that isn't really talked about in history, where they say, oh yeah, he hated and wanted to exterminate all the Jews, but he had, obviously thousands of them serving in his military. He constructed the Havar Agreement, where it was pretty much, people say that, like, Israel, a big part of the reason why they have the population that they have in Israel was because of Adolf Hitler having the Havar Agreement. It allowed them to leave Germany with a lot of the resources intact. So look, I'm not saying Hitler was the greatest guy ever, but what I am saying is that there's clearly been an agenda to lie on him and push out a certain narrative that isn't necessarily
right. I hear you, but can't both be true? Thousands he had that were Jewish that were in the military, but he also was responsible for killing millions and millions of Jews. Can't both be correct?
I want to say millions, but yes, absolutely. Like, World War II was a horrible time. Like, everyone has blood on their hands, whether it was us, it was the Allies, Germany, etc. World War II was a horrible time. But, they always say there's a reason why they call it his story, because the victors write the narrative. And that's what ended up happening is we have the Ally version of events where we kind of look like the good guys and everything else like that. And Hitler is all awful. But I don't think anybody is innocent without blood on their hands. But I do think that when it comes to him in particular, he's one of the most lied about individuals in history.
But there's a lot of people that lie about people in history. Why, in a way, and you tell me if this is a mischaracterization, defend Adolf Hitler and say, well, there's people that are lying about. So my thing is, so what? If he hired, or he had 1,000 or 2,000 Jewish people in the military, it doesn't change the fact that he was responsible for the murders of like 7 million Jews. My question, Myron, is you're obviously an educated guy. Why take the time to defend Adolf Hitler? Aren't there more important things to talk about and defend today?
Well, I think the truth is important. And again, just from the amount of people that were commenting below saying like, oh my God, I didn't know this, etc. I mean, that should tell you something, right? Like, I think that there's been
but if the truth is important, then why? Again, I hate to compare, because I don't like doing this, comparing an Adolf Hitler to a Donald Trump, which, by the way, I don't do. I want to be very clear on that.
Okay, that's
good. But if the truth does matter to you, and I believe you when you say that, why vote for a guy who still has not admitted he lost the 2020 election? Why vote for a guy who literally lied over 30,000 times when he was first in office? Why vote for somebody like that? If you don't like Kamala Harris for whatever reasons, Myron, glad to hear you on that. But why vote for a guy I agree with you, the truth does matter. Why vote for a guy who continues to lie about our elections?